Welcome back to Space Company Simulator. My name is Tobel. We just finished our rocket program building, which I believe, according to, I think the research thing, or according to the building tab, should have given us access to more contracts, although I think most of our contracts we've kind of discarded for the time being. So looking for the medium launch pad, that was that's one that we can't do yet. We're not really going, well, we actually accepted one about building a medium launch pad, but unfortunately I did that before I understood kind of the building tree. So we really can't do that yet. We do have the ability to build the satellite program, which I guess we'll do. This is supposed to unlock a management position in finance, and we'll also gain access to new contracts. And then we'll be able to build the space tourism building after that one. So I will go ahead and do rapid construction on the satellite program. And what else is going on? Our budget, let me take a look at our finances real quick. So finance-wise, we are kind of pumping it pretty hardcore in all the different departments right now. So all of them have really high daily values. And by and large, a lot of them, we're trying to get further into the tree in order to unlock certain buildings. So there are, let's see what we got over here in Learning University building, which I think makes your employees better or more productive. Astronaut complex, that'll be pretty important. Actually, we can get that right now. Apparently under the, was this finance? Yeah, under the finance department. Any other buildings in the finance future? Not really, not that I'm seeing. Technology-wise, we do have thrusters now, so we're able to build our own rocket engine and kind of a prototype and then also a small. We could go for space planes, and I actually think we are. We're at 14%. Oh, apparently I have queued this up. So we are actually going for space planes right now, which is kind of cool. So we're going to have a reusable shuttle program. This is going to develop the capability of a lot of space shuttles to safely return to the atmosphere of Earth after completing their space flight. Now, one thing I haven't quite figured out yet is once we're able to, make a space shuttle, do we just make money randomly if we send the shuttle up, or do we actually have to have a contract in order to do something like drop off someone's satellite? So I believe we might be a little bit stymied for a bit until we get more contracts rolling in. Let's take a look at PR. One thing I didn't quite realize is that we are going to start getting prestige or activists here, lobbyists rather, every time you hit a certain amount of prestige. Now, it doesn't really tell you anywhere unless they've updated that recently. So you have to keep an eye on your HR, or your PR department, and you'll randomly see one active lobbyist here. And then you can dedicate them to go into one of these investor trees. So, for example, I'm trying to bump up, Emma Smith here. I'm trying to get more money invested in us. And also, if we do, I think, next funding level. Yeah, so if we have 6 lobbyists, we'll get a bigger funding level. And really, maybe it makes more sense to do, one at a time. Although I think it might be 7K right now with each one. Because I think I had this at 1 before, just 1 lobbyist. And I was getting 7K per turn or per week. So that's just one thing there. We also, if we are the kind of the top player in terms of getting our lobbyists over to this particular investor, we would get this bonus, increase prestige by 50 weekly. I picked this one because it's going to kind of reinvest itself. We're going to get more prestige, which means more lobbyists and whatnot. Also, there's this investor contract thing, but I don't quite understand the contract. There's no way to accept anything. It basically says test a prototype fuel tank donkey, which will be supplied to him using a quick test. Completion of an investor's contract rewards a company with 1 lobbyist assigned to the investor, which is great. Sounds like a free investor, basically, or a free lobbyist. The problem is, I don't see any way to do this right now. Quick test. Maybe it's a building. Hang on. Is there a test facility that I might be missing? Maybe that's part of it. Here's the astronaut complex. The NEO program. What the heck is a NEO program? Oh, deep space. Okay, cool. NEO, maybe? Tourism University. Is there a testing platform? Conference center. Oh, there is a test center. You know what? I bet that's what I'm missing. We probably need the test center in order to do what that person is wanting us to do. So, give access to unlock production department's perk testing center. Okay, so we pretty much need to go into production over here. And we're just looking for the testing center pretty much, right? Oh, we have it right there. Okay, cool. So now we're able to actually build the test center under the building tree, right? Sure enough, we are. Okay, I'm going to start the construction of the test center, because again, this is something that's going to be pretty useful to us. I'm honestly just going to keep rapid constructing. I don't see any reason not to. I mean, obviously it's going to hurt us in terms of money, but I'm assuming the faster you get your buildings up, the more that unlocks, the more contracts you might bring in. We'll also go ahead and start up an astronaut complex, because we're going to need to hire astronauts eventually to man our space planes and what have you. We have an email from Anne. There's an investment opportunity. So basically, we should invest $30,000, and then we should be getting regular profits about $5,000 after 5 years. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say yes. We'll have a stabilizing factor. We're SpaceX, but we're getting into real estate. So that's how we're going to maintain our income level. Let's take a look over at oh hey, we've got a lobbyist up top here. So we have one lobbyist that we can invest. Let's throw another one towards Emma Smith and then see if it increases the funding level. Sure enough, it's going to give us a 7.5k boost. And now here's the thing, best player bonus. Do we have this right now? I don't see growth from department, finished contracts, other sources. In theory, this bonus should be under other sources, and I don't know why it's not. We are the best player bonus, which is maybe not the best phrasing. Maybe they could have a little question mark here that explains that, hey, if you're the highest, most invested player, then you're going to get this bonus. Maybe it's only after a certain point. I don't really know. All right, what else we got in the other departments here? We've got a lot of points stored up in... Was this PR? Were we just here? We were. Let's go over to HR. There is building. This is going to be the university, I think, or maybe just worker training. Yeah. So we'll queue up by the numbers. We don't have enough for that yet. We'll go, what do you like? What is this? Discover worker department preferences. And whatever that one, that's a little bit strange. We also have astronaut training facility, which we already have. I'm going to probably start picking traits from these trees just behind the scenes, because I don't think it's that big of a thing. We do want to get to the medium assembly, though, as quick as we can. So we are trying to go down the more cargo route, but it's very expensive. It'll be 5k here, and then 10k for the cargo assembly, which is going to take quite a while if we're just doing 391. I could start, beefing up the budget, though. The problem is, once you start kind of going over, I guess, the max limit, it really starts getting expensive. Now, look at the total value we're getting per week, 391. As we go up, at a certain point, it's going to go up every time we click, but the amount of money you're investing goes up like crazy too. So I mean, in theory, we could bump this bad boy up to like $1,000 per month, but our budget would just be $344,000 just for one department. So it's one of those things, how much do you want to actually put into it? Okay, so we pretty much have all of these technologies researched up to space planes. So we now have the basic utility components. I don't really know what that means, but let's take a look at our assembly. If we go into the assembly room, do we have a new design? I don't see a new design for spaceplane, which is kind of curious. Maybe it is not exactly what I thought it is. I forgot we built What Even Is This a while ago. I tried to build a rocket with just simply a fuel tank in it, and I discovered if I go back into the depot that... Oh, sorry, actually I want to go into the assembly room. If we're looking at this project here, yes, we want to build this one. If you don't have the parts required, say we built a tank, but we don't, we're missing an engine or something like that, you can buy the parts right through the shop tab. Because other companies are out there producing engines, producing fuel tanks, struts, and things like that. I just don't know, are we able to sell our own products? Because it doesn't, as far as I can tell, it actually doesn't seem like we're able to do that, which I would think that would be a great way to make a little bit of money. We have some extra spare parts that I've purchased here and there. Randomly. I think the gray symbol or coloring means that this is being used right now in construction. But yeah, I just don't see any way to... There's like this inventory screen, which doesn't really explain anything. Let's see. Stored in the depot. Carry out quality tests for components here. Got it. Components market. Yeah, we know about that. It didn't say anything about what is this inventory bucket? What does this do? When something is here, what does it do? I have no idea. It also doesn't have an option, as far as I can tell, to sell anything out onto the market, which would be kind of cool if we had a really high quality... Like, what if we really pumped our engines technology? We were able to make the best engines out there, and then we kind of flood the market with our engines, and it just does not seem like there is a way to sell any of your parts, which is kind of unfortunate. We now have the ability... Ooh, here we go. we have a bunch of extra things here. Multi-tool, what is all this stuff? Single bonus engineering 1, keep a rocket in good working order. Well, this probably came from having the space plane where we're able to build a bunch of extra things. So I'm going to actually just queue up a bunch of these random items here. HGA1, which looks like, so, oh, this is a radio antenna, radiation protection, sure. We don't want our astronauts to come back with any extra parts. We already have some small fins. I'm going to get more just in case. And we have a medium engine. Why don't we go ahead and build another smaller engine here as well? We'll build another Ascension engine. Is it only $80? Really? Hang on. It says 80 here. I'm wondering if this is cut off. 8,000 maybe? Is everything just 80? Okay. So that's that. We are building the test center, so we should be able to kind of do more testing here relatively soon. All right, so we had a bunch of buildings complete at the same time. We now have, oh, hey, do we actually have a medium launch pad? We do, apparently. Wait, do we? How do we get a medium launch pad? I'm super confused. I kind of thought we didn't have the ability to make this yet. Well, whatever. We have that. We've got our test center. Let me go back out here. Real quick, let's go back to our HR screen, active lobbyist, Emma Smith. They want to test a fuel tank donkey FT1, which will be supplied using a quick test. Okay, fuel tank donkey FT1. We have a fuel tank yak. We don't have one that's a donkey, apparently. So, to unlock, gain a perk. Oh, of course it would be under the perk system. I don't know. Let's test. Oh, it needs to be repaired. Curious. Let's go ahead and repair that. And then all of a sudden, everything else here decided to pop in. Maybe that's, I have no idea. Why are we repairing? Are these components actually messed up? Ceramic shielding. Okay. No clue what's going on with half the stuff we're doing. Can I test the engine, though? I don't even know. I don't know. A lot of the stuff, you know, I mean, a lot of things have errors that pop up or some kind of a tooltip. This game seems to be lacking a lot of feedback information to the player. And you're trying to do something and there's just nothing happening. And you're kind of left wondering, okay, did I do something wrong? Or is this normal? And it's hard as a player to understand what the heck's going on. So I do hope they add a little bit more feedback at some point down the road. Let's take a look and see if we got any new contracts here. Looking for a medium launch pad. And before I actually tried to accept this mission and it wouldn't let me do it, now I actually can finally do it because we do have our medium. So let's go to planning. They want to have Lorem Ipsum. Great name. Really? Did you guys use filler for all of the other companies' rockets and you never changed it? Or is this like a tongue-in-cheek joke? Okay, fair enough. What the hell is this back here, by the way? Is this another planet? This is a very, very bright star that I don't think should be in our sky. Is this the moon? I thought it was like a spike floating through space. All right. I have no idea what this is up here in the sky behind us. The Lorem Ipsum rocket is an unmanned mission. They want to use our... I'm so confused. The small launcher? I thought they wanted to use the medium. Okay, whatever. We're just going to accept it. The earliest date looks like a couple weeks from now. So we're going to go ahead and accept that, or not. Or it's going to beep at me. Okay. No, not hearing it. This is what I'm talking about. There's no message. There's no nothing. They have no Delta V, apparently, in this rocket. Completion date 1 year, almost like a half a year from now. 72 days to complete the Lorem Ipsum. I see no other information. So again, a lot of what I'm seeing so far, and I've started encountering more things. I guess the first episode I was lucky. I didn't really see too many issues in the game, but I'm starting to see a lot of weird stuff. And a lot of it comes down to, it looks like they just need more love in terms of player feedback. Telling the player, no, you are doing this wrong, or what have you. Let's go ahead and build a... was it a yak? I'm pretty sure. Let's go ahead and build a yak fuel tank and have that ready to go. I almost think that one of our rockets should be done by now. Let's go back over to production assembly room. Yeah, the what even is this rocket is completed. What can we do anything with this rocket? How would we go about launching our own rocket? We can't apparently just click on that. What about mission control? That's going to give us the actual solar system. Okay, fair enough. Well, at least we got everything seemingly accurate here, except there's no Pluto, you bastards. What else can we possibly do? Do we have to... You know, I actually don't know how to start a launch. I almost think that you have to have a contract for it, or you can't do a launch. What in the world is all this stuff? Hello? Are you serious? Does it show me my competition's rockets? Are these all of the rockets that have been in play? I'm so bloody confused. Maybe this is the amount of times I've opened this up and it's completed. Do we just have a bunch of chariots built? Can we see how many rockets we have that are spare, that are sitting in our inventory? Yeah, a lot of this stuff is what I'm saying. It's really just kind of a little bit confusing. Not a lot of information about, you know, how do I go do a launch here? And maybe it's in the, you know, I get it. Maybe it's in the manual somewhere. But to be honest, as a player doing a management game, I really don't think you should have to delve into something outside of the game in order to understand an in-game mechanic. Maybe if you want to, like, refine your, you know, perfect your method or what have you. What else do we have here? The contract looking for medium launch pad has not been completed. You have not been completed actual contractual obligations. Well, okie dokie. That's fair enough. I guess we're messing up contracts left and right. And so be it, my friends. We have no more contracts in the list whatsoever. Even though it seems like every building you build should be giving you more contracts. Every time you see something when in the building list, it says, hey, this is going to give you more contracts. Let's open up the conference center and see what happens. Unlocks conferences. I guess we're just going to turn our place into a little bit of a theme park, perhaps. All right, my budget is kind of leaking money like crazy right now, so I'm going to reduce the amount of money back down to where it was, kind of at a high funding level. I did have it really high just to kind of push through some of the science and also to try to see if we can get production up there as well. But it's getting a little bit close to the wire. We're just basically leaking money at this point, and I haven't seen a contract come through in quite a long time. So I don't know. I've discarded some. Maybe these shouldn't be out here or something. I'm not sure. I discarded. Well, I guess hiding them. This one wants to use a foreign. Let's try to accept this foreign platform mission. Here we go. Nope. No place for launch or place for launch. They want to use the Lorem Ipsum rocket, I guess. Once again, no information about this. Is this because their rocket has no Delta V? I'm assuming that whatever the name, Lorem Ipsum rocket was made by the AI, and there's no way for us to use it. And that means if we take the mission, we're going to fail it. So, again, more information that's just not being communicated to the player here. You know what else is kind of weird? It's like some of the stuff in the technology tree here. So, for example, space planes. Developing the technology will allow us to make suborbital flights. It's interesting because it's literally space planes, right? But so far, according to my my production tab here, I should be going to, apparently, I think, the depot instead. The assembly room. We have no blueprint for any kind of a returnable, reusable space plane. So, again, a little confused as to what exactly we're getting at. This is all basically the same rocket, I guess. And there's other things in the technology tree that almost make it seem like, re-entry, for example. There's like, this will allow the space shuttles to safely return to the atmosphere of Earth after completing their space flight. And then the next step is develop a rocket that can reach low Earth orbit and return to Earth's surface. It's really, really weird. I'm not sure if, what's controlling what at this point. I'm going to keep pushing down the tree. Oh, preparations for launch were completed. Apparently we did, in fact, accept a launch at some point. This is going to be great. Let's go over to the launch platform. What the hell? We're launching project name? When did we even agree to this? Why are there Don't watch this. There's nothing here. Oh, God. I think this rocket has... I made this before. The funniest part is I built the rocket. I don't remember ever doing any kind of launch. I don't know. Apparently we passed all the go, no-goes completely. Hilarious. The funny part about building this rocket is that you put the booster, you have the fuel tank in, and then you put the engine. The engine is actually up in the upper stage here. There's no engine according to the design, there was no engine down here at the bottom of project name. We'll see what happens with this bad boy. Hey, look at, you know what? At least we're launching rockets. That's all that matters. I would love some kind of a speed up here, by the way. It is a little bit rough. Also, this thing down here, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to mimic the kind of the SpaceX status thing or the NASA status thing when it says, hey, what's coming up next? The problem is, this never changes. This never ever adjusts. We're always on startup. And upcoming, hey guys, any minute now, we're going to have liftoff. So, again, it's a little bit funky. I can't tell if the camera is so locked on that it's not moving that much. You know, the perspective is weird, but it looks like this doesn't even move in this camera angle. The only thing that really shows you anything, it looks like, is this one right here. But again, like I said, there's no way, as far as I can tell, to fast forward this part of the game. And if you click too much, you'll, I guess it'll go a little bit crazy. Hey, here we go. We gained 12,000 prestige points to this launch. Rocket launch was successful if it's a long mission. For example, Earth-Moon mission. You can see the rocket in flight on space view of mission control. Okay. Do we have any rockets here? No, apparently it was not a long launch. Again, I don't remember ever actually choosing a mission of any sort. Let's go to the assembly room. What I'm talking about also in terms of this is that there's, if you look at the rocket tank, we can put the tank in here, right? The tank is a tank. You see how it's just it's a fuel tank. The engine, which apparently I can't assign right now. Can I just buy one? Here, let's just buy an engine real fast. Contender. Okay, we're gonna buy this engine. Even though it said that this component in theory should be available, we don't have it in our inventory anymore. Again, I'm just at a loss, guys. But the engine basically will fit in this gap here, right above the fuel tank and right below kind of this where the payload would be. But there's no booster. As far as I can see, there's no actual way to go anywhere, which is kind of hilarious. There's no real way to get up into space. So, you know, it is what it is, my friends. And apparently you also, there we go. We can right click to remove that. I know I'm being really critical right now. And to be fair, I think that's allowed, especially when you're putting a game out that really just seems to need more work. And so we'll keep pushing through to see how far we get in this episode. All right, so with the launch that we recently had that really didn't make any sense at all, we managed to get a lot of prestige, and thus we have a lot more investors, so lobbyists rather. So I've assigned 6 lobbyists to both Miriam and Emmett, and the text is now white, which either makes me think we have this bonus. Let's see. Are we getting an extra 50 from anywhere? No, not yet. So apparently this is not quite there. Maybe we have to max it out to get there. But we are getting some money, some extra money every week with all these investors. But at the moment, as far as I can tell, our money is still just kind of drying up. We still have a bunch of discarded stuff down here. I did hire some astronauts, so we got that going for us, which I suppose is nice. We've got Mehmet. And where'd my astronauts go? We've got Laura Miller, Lara Maya, Michael Jones, Mehmet Akbas, and I don't know what to do with them just yet. Maybe we could shove them in. If we look at our assembly room, perhaps we could build a rocket and shove a astronaut in there. You know, we put like a utility in here. We can't double click, fair enough, and I can't seem to drag and drop, and it just went into a different. Where did this go to? It went into. I can't even see what this is. What is this? What is this box for? I have no idea. Just keep adding stuff in until it all explodes in my face. There's an engine. So here's what I mean. There's the engine on the bottom of. Oh, now the engine moved. There we go. There was the last time I saw this, the engine was actually up top here. So we've added the engine to the right spot. Hooray! Small, minor details. What is this? Radiation protection. Let's go ahead and do. Yeah, we'll see. A science bonus of 1. So is this our first manned mission? Could it be? Can we add another tank in here? No, that's only the main tank. What other kind of fun stuff do we need? We need a strut. Let's buy a strut. Okay, we need a payload. We don't have any payloads yet. Ooh, cargo bay. I don't know what this would be. Let's grab that. Grid fins. I think we are. Nope, we don't have any grid fins. Let's grab grid fins too. Okay, fair enough. And I guess we're gonna have to wait for delivery perhaps for next turn. We'll see what happens next turn. Say no to that. Yes to this, say yes to the dress, and now we go back into assembly room. I don't know, what about the Hound? With different rocket? Okay, here we go. Confirm. We got all this fancy stuff. Got the payload here. We've got arrow here. We've got struts, you guys. We've got engines in the back. Oh my gosh, we are so ready to go. We've got a basic suit for spacewalk, not suitable for... Oh, inside of... Okay, so we actually need to have some sort... I don't know what this tab is. What is... What is this? It is simply the box. This utility here... This would bring... I think this is protection against... for heat shielding, perhaps. I have no idea. Hey, look, we've got a rocket that looks almost like it's completed. All right, sounds good to me. Let's, well, how do we, this is a full-on... We want to do a long test? That's not even an option. Fair enough. How do we go to production? Here we go. Oh, God, please don't die. We're going to call that the Oh, God, please don't die. 20 turns to get that one done. No problem. And while I'm kind of buzzing through here, I'm also going to go ahead and finally put down the medium assembly, which we can now upgrade because I got that unlocked. So we're going to go ahead and 13 turns to unlock that. Who knows? Maybe, let's see. What does it do? 3 rocket components at the same time to build small space vehicles. And is this the medium one I'm talking about? Small assembly, large. It doesn't really have much more information here. So we're just going to keep upgrading away. Hey, our medium assembly has been completed. Let's see if there's anything different now. Do we have any kind of different... No different blueprints. To be honest, it looks exactly the same as it was. Depot, anything different here? Not really. I don't know. Did we damage this engine somehow? Can I work on any repairs here? Let's see. Click on repair. Nothing seems to need repair except for maybe these 2 things here. We'll put those in there. Mostly because I don't know what the heck I'm doing yet. I think one more turn and we should have our rocket completed. Important information opportunity. I don't really honestly don't care about that stuff too much. Assembly room. One more turn. Sorry, one more turn for Oh God, please don't die. There we go. Now the rocket is done. The rocket is built. Oh God, please don't die is completed. So, what do we do? What do we do with said rocket? Is the big question. How doth one... Must we have a mission for this bad boy? It is the most bizarre thing. Maybe you build it, and then at the earliest opportunity, you launch. Maybe that's just it. There's no way to set a schedule or plan it out right now. Or maybe that's some kind of a hidden perk or something. Oh, hang on. What is all this? Is this, are these launch windows? September. Oh, this is something's happening here. I get it. Okay, fair enough. What's happening in February? There's going to be the assembly. Maybe that's the assembly being completed like we already know about. Okay, and then we get technology in November. So it does at least show you what's going on inside of your compound. I honest to God, guys, I don't even know at this point. There's so much. It seemed like it was really cool up front. And I really thought the game was going to have a much clearer picture, but right now I'm really at a loss. I'm sure, you know, like they're gonna suggest manuals and stuff. I just don't think that should be what you have to do. I have not received a new contract since I've been playing the game ever. We still have this planning mission here that can't happen because there's, I guess whoever this is made a rocket with no booster in it. I'm basically going to be broke here in a couple more turns, so we're going to go broke and probably just end this thing. Alright guys, I think I've hit my limit of patience on this one. I've not seen anything else come up. No more contracts are coming up. I get random events here and there. It's like, hey, do you want like 5,000 or something like that? Here. Oh, good. Commitment was added to the contracts tab. First contract in a full year here. I'm down to $7.3 million. Oh, look, the contract is actually not even showing. Place to launch. Still can't launch this bad boy. So it is what it is. I've gone down the research tree. I've tried to go from this weird 90% thing. I still don't understand what you know, your technology ends at 80%. And then you can spend weeks, you know, every week you can kind of reinvest your research to, I guess, maximize it. I don't seem to be able to maximize advanced aerodynamics or anything else beyond the 80% mark, other than kind of the starter tree. So I was hoping that maybe that was something that I'd have to do. I really don't know. I honestly don't. I'm going to go broke, though, and have a great old time. I would recommend, guys, at this point, do not get this. I'm sorry. It's just, you know, don't waste your time at the moment. I love the idea behind it. I really, really do. And I'm okay with more of a management style, but a lot of this stuff is just lacking in so much communication to the player. There's so little information about, are you even on the right track? Are you doing the right thing? I did glance through the guide that they sent out, that they recommended you know, there's an actual manual that comes with it, but a lot of it is like, hey, what does the assembly button do? So I didn't see anything that's explaining, how do we even start a mission? That would, to me, you know, as a space company simulation, going to space should be the basic thing you do. So that should be very, very clear on how to make a space mission. And at the moment, it's really unfortunately not. So, hey, thanks, guys, so much for joining me for this little two-parter here. I appreciate your patience, and I really hope you've enjoyed, well, this. And I'll catch you guys soon. Take care.